On Masters of Spin this morning, the WA government under fire yet again for its tight border restrictions, which don't seem to apply to sporting teams. Carlton and Collingwood AFLW teams have been allowed to fly into Perth for a match this weekend without needing to quarantine.
We have put in place arrangements for sports over the course of the last 2 years that require rigorous quarantine and testing requirements. That hasn't been unusual. It's just a continuation of what we've done over the course of the last 2 years.
And that move has outraged a couple from Melbourne who were last year denied an exemption to enter the state to take their son's body home. Our Masters of Spin this morning, advertising and marketing experts, Matthew Bywater, Adam Ferrier. Good morning to you both. Adam, let me start with you. It's a mixed message out of WA. Play sport, it's fine, you can get in. Other families can't. It's all sorts of strict regimes. WA has done what it thinks is the right thing, but what sort of message does it send, and do they have an image problem?
I don't necessarily agree with you that it's mixed messages. I think Mark McGowan's been pretty straight down the line the whole time, and he's doing what's best for the state. And he's also, this is going to sound a bit callous, but he's also actually building the brand of WA and what they stand for, and good living and sport and simple life, and it's protect and great over here. And so I think he's handling it, just from a marketing perspective, actually very, very well. Obviously, it's, you know, there's a downside to all of that. But from a brand perspective, he's building the WA brand and making it seem like a nice place to live. Well,
it is mixed messaging in a sense, because if you play sport, you're fine, but if you have a compassionate ground to get in, you can't.
Maybe it's consistent messaging, but there's hypocrisy in that.
Matthew, do you think that the rest of Australia is dying to get into WA other than to see family?
Oh, I think family is the biggest one, and most people we speak to who have family, it's been several years now, and it's just a shame that we can find a way to get the sporting teams in, but in case this family who lost their son, sure there's ways we can get them into the state, and there's rules and procedures around that, but surely we can find ways to have some heart.
All right, let's turn to advertising. Tens of millions of dollars companies are spending on commercials during America's Super Bowl. It's on Monday. Hollywood stars, of course, in there. Matthew McConaughey is one of them. Let's have a look at that.
So while the others look to the metaverse and Mars, let's stay here and restore ours. Yeah, it's time to blaze our trail. Because the new frontier, it ain't rocket science. It's right here.
Adam, what's he selling?
He's selling Salesforce. The irony here is it's an attack on big tech companies with founders who've got massive egos, and Salesforce is a big tech company with a founder with a massive ego. So the whole thing is actually quite hilarious. It's a pretty good ad, but anyway, it is for Salesforce. No one will know that. It doesn't really matter. It's not for them. It's for the ego of the CEO.
Matt, what did you think?
I like the ad, and I think this is not for business to consumer. This is more business to business. Their play on this will actually be when actually using it amongst your own commercial database. So, and Matthew McConaughey, you can't go wrong.
No, you can't. All right, thank you both. Adam, Matthew, good to see you.